I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this is another Higher Things video short.
All right, it's field trip time. Here we are in the Chancel, the space up front, the holy space, at Zion Lutheran Church in McHenry, Illinois. My church I'm called to serve in. We wanted to do this week a tour of the chancel so that you can identify everything which you see every week at church. Notice the center of your attention is the altar. The altar is where the Lord delivers the forgiveness He won for us on the cross, is delivered on the altar in the Lord's Supper. The center of the divine service, the high point of the divine service, is the delivery of our Lord's gifts. Lutheran altars are places where no sacrifice goes on. No, the sacrifice is the cross. The symbol that will tell you that there's no sacrifice going on here is 5 crosses, which are located at the different points on your garden variety Lutheran altar. This says the sacrifice was Jesus's. His wounds are where our forgiveness was won. On the altar, sometimes you'll see these. The Eucharistic candles, Eucharist, Thanksgiving, Lord's Supper candles. These are lit only when the Lord is giving His gifts, His supper. You have candles in church because Jesus is the light of the world, the light of darkness. This, which you see every week, we'll give you the van and light tour of it, is the altar book. The altar book contains all the services and all the prayers of the church. It helps pastor as he's giving out the gifts. Notice also, on the freestanding altar, the direction of the Lord's giving is from the Lord to us. There's a strong case to be made for our freestanding altars in Lutheranism that Luther's specific direction, that all the attention and all the direction of worship be from Jesus to us. Now, that does not mean that altars which are against the wall, what are they called, John?
No idea.
All right, you're no help at all. Altars which are against the wall, which is the traditional altar, which is against the back wall, isn't Lutheran. It is Lutheran. But again, the attention is, even then, not what we're doing for God, but what God is giving to us in His gifts. All right, while we're back here, we can also spot a couple of things as well. This, usually blinged up, not in our church, but blinged up, is the gospel book. It contains the gospel lesson. Sometimes you'll see the gospel lesson read in the middle of the church in a procession. That's because Jesus is amongst us. He's not just up in one space. He's with us, for us, where we are. As we come around, this is the horn of the altar. All right, the gospel horn, right side. Epistle horn, left side. Gospel horn, where the gospel is read, where blessings are given, and also preaching side. Epistle horn, where the sacrament, where the epistle is read, where the readings are read. This is a lectern, from the Latin word lecto, for reading. This is where the epistle and the Old Testament lesson is read. This is a pulpit, where our Lord delivers His preaching from the mouth of your pastor into your ears. Processional cross, again, the location of some things may vary. Processional cross, sometimes you'll see a processional cross with a corpus, very Lutheran. The idea of crucifix is not being Lutheran, is it Lutheran? That's a topic for another episode. But a processional cross symbolizing a standard that this is the presence of Christ amongst us. Here also, because of the Easter season, as my ADD takes over, you'll see the Paschal candle. It's not often, not the Christ candle. We should sort of move away from that. This is the Paschal candle. Notice the wounds of Christ, set aside the year. This candle is the symbol of the resurrection of Jesus. Symbol of the resurrection of Jesus. It's lit during the Easter season and also at baptisms and funerals. Have we missed anything? credence table, banners, cross. But notice how all the architecture confesses that what is preached and read is what is delivered at the altar. What is given at the altar, Jesus giving his body to eat, his blood to drink, is the center of what goes on in the divine service. Preached, read, delivered. Finally, we'll close with this slide up here. Can you get it, John? There you go. Look at my buddy over this. That is the sanctuary light. Sometimes people think of it as the eternal candle. That's fine. But that is the symbol that you can receive the Lord's Supper at church. Notice it's lit. You can receive the Lord's Supper anytime. All right, so when you see that candle lit, it doesn't only mean that Jesus is present. It means, hey, come and get the Lord's Supper. This is where the Lord's Supper is.
I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this is another Higher Things video short.